What's cracking, lads? I'm back with another video. Let's dive right into it. So, remember from last video, we had a good day. We made about $475 on the funded account. Well, guess what, guys? I had another bad day yet just yesterday, and I was actually really glad that I did because number one, I've got content for you, a good video on about losing in a day and what it feels like, how you guys probably feel like and how we can bounce back from that. And then I've got for the second half of the video my trades for today, which fortunately went much better. And again, a lot more stuff to share with you guys. So let's dive into the bad day first. So it was yesterday, so I can't even see the trades on the funded account from yesterday. So that's why number one, taking notes is a really good idea every day because if you want to go back and you want to learn from your mistakes, you have to write them down, right? So let's just see what I wrote for the day. And this is honestly an example of one of my laziest days of journaling because I will usually journal every single trade, every single transaction. You guys will see that because I will be doing that for my trades today. So that may be in a second video in case this one's a little too long. I'm trying to keep these videos 15 to 20 minutes, so I don't want to bore you guys, just yapping all day. So enough yapping, let's get cracking. So for yesterday, let's just read what it says. Everything about it was so bad. So if you guys didn't know already, I'm on two funded accounts. I had a 50K and a 150K. To be honest, there was no reason for me to do the 150K, and that's something you guys can learn from because if you guys haven't, I've been 16 days trading on this funded account for the 50K, and I still think that I didn't need the 150K. I did it purely because when I was having those good days in a row, I kept wanting to push the limits, and I recognized that the 50K couldn't handle more than one mini contract. And because I was just too hungry, I wanted to open a 150K account in case, I was wanting to push those limits again. Now I know better because these are monthly subscription funded accounts. So even if I have two accounts and I'm doing good on both, well, I'm basically telling myself I have to reach both of these profit limits per month, or else I'm just going to keep getting charged. And the 150K account charges me $150. So, as much as I love saving money, not spending my real money on each trade, I definitely don't want to be paying $150 every month to barely be using it when I'm focusing on the 50K account mainly, right? So that was a mistake before today that definitely led into today because I'm looking for my trades, right? Market open. And I was bored. I was just waiting. Like, I know I want a good trade on the 50K, but because I have another account sitting on the side, I'm thinking, like, oh, what if I just mess around a little bit, right? So, out of boredom, I was playing with the worst thing you can do, which is market buy and market sell. At least on Tradeovate on the funded accounts, when you're tabbing, from the charts to the platform, you do not want to be hitting buy market, sell market because shit will happen that you don't even notice. And you're going to see why. So out of boredom, I was playing with those and I made myself $1,200. So you can imagine how this is already bad for me because I'm practicing terrible habits, right? I didn't do my research on if I should even have two funded accounts open, and then on top of that, I'm making money. So I think I'm doing something right. So terrible, right? So that's my first mistake, right? And then the computer enters me on a trade that I didn't even see. So I make the $1,200 and I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, let's walk away for a second. Let's look for my real trade of the day on the 50K, right? But guess what? I was playing with market buys, market sells. I wasn't doing my layered, um, you put in your call and you have the sell, the stop limit and the take profit already set. I wasn't doing that. I was clicking buttons, and guess what? The computer still had an order there waiting to be filled, and it filled me in. So I looked 2 minutes later, and guess what? It gave away $1,000. Right. So that completely tilted me because not only did I feel like I earned those $1,200 doing the wrong habits, but now I just watched the computer give it all away. So guess what I did? I went on full tilt and I just blew up the 150K account, which meant I lost $3,000. I basically just sized up my contracts because the 150K account you can do 15 minis, 15. I didn't do 15, but I was doing like 10, and that's just terrible, 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 terrible habits, guys. Do not do stuff like that. Right. So that was my third, fourth, and fifth mistake because that wasn't even in one trade. That was just me just blasting off, being a complete noob. Right. And guess what? That's not even the worst of it because at least now in my mind, I was like, okay, well, I got rid of the 150K account. Even though it was in the worst way possible, at least I got rid of an issue, right? So I tried looking at it as positively as I could, but you know what? I was just tilted. So now when I come to the 50K account, my trades were terrible, right? So that's my sixth mistake. And I made my first loss on the 50K account. And my recipe now includes that when I do one trade, no matter if it's a win or loss, I need to size down, right? I need to size down to the 5 micros, because guys, it's so important to realize that you can't overtrade. Like I was the kind of person, like even just 2 weeks ago, that I wanted to do 5, 6 trades in a day because I thought I could mentally handle that. And a lot of those like 6 to 10 days, I could. I was handling it. A lot of these days I was going negative at first, and I would come back and I would lock in, and I would make the money for the day. But that's not always possible. That's not something you can consistently do every day. And guys, trading is about nothing but consistency. So I didn't size down after my first loss, right? So I went against my recipe. That's the seventh mistake, seventh and final mistake, because I know how important it is to me to have my recipe cut and clear, something I can consistently follow every day. Because if not, I would be in, a bunch of Discord channels. I would be watching every single YouTube video I can, just copying whatever they're doing. That's not what I want to do. I want to go off on my own and have a really fleshed out recipe that I can wake up and confidently do every day, regardless of win or loss. That's the most important part, regardless of the win or loss. So the only good decision I made yesterday was stopping. So I graded myself an absolute F for the day, and I lost $338 across 2 trades. So usually my trades are, just because I couldn't see the trades anymore today. I know that usually my stop limit is $9, so 36 ticks, and that calculated to about 36 and 32 ticks, which was pretty accurate for yesterday because I watched them just both run, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm done for the day. So you can see here, lost it. We're still break even, so that gave me some hope because I had the discipline to walk away, and I had the discipline to not trade for the rest of the day. So that I actually walked away thinking that I was going to come back tomorrow and make up for this, because this was just an absolute mistake of a day. It was garbage, right? And I'm glad it was, because sometimes this needs to happen. You need to wake up and you need to realize that you're getting cocky, or you need to realize that you're not practicing your habits. You just need you need reality check sometimes, guys. So I was glad that this happened to me. And today I came in with a much, much better mindset. So that was yesterday in a nutshell. I wanted to keep the charting from yesterday. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Today I have a lot of charting, so I actually think I'm gonna do another video for this, because there's a lot to go over for today's trading. But for yesterday, at least, you can see here. Just ignore all those purple numbers. Here's yesterday and here's today. All of that money I lost, all of that full tilt I did, literally, just to put this into perspective, that's something you guys also need to realize when you're making mistakes like this and you're just so in the moment that you're just, you're lost. All of that money I lost was in between literally these 2 bars. Like the market didn't even notice me, like notice my full tilt. So something so important to realize is like it's not worth it. It's not worth being such a loser and trying to scrape back to victory when the market literally, I could have just not only just taken the one loss and then left it alone. I could have just came back. I could have just came back later in the day, 2 to 3 o'clock power hour, and even the AM session didn't even look that bad compared to what I did yesterday. Like if the AM session looks like a better time for you to trade and that you could have probably made better decisions than when the market was open and you're at your max potential, then you're really doing something wrong for the day, right? You're really doing something wrong. You're practicing bad habits, right? So since I'm gonna go over tomorrow's trade in the next video, which is probably gonna be uploaded, soon after this one, just consider like part 1 and 2, But for this part, guys, this is the mentality of being a loser. This is how you lose in a day, right? But not only that, you have to know how to bounce back. You have to look at it at a positive lens. You have to realize the mistakes you're making and know what to improve. Because, like you saw in the first video, I was so happy that I'd finally, carved out a recipe that I could start saying is mine. And then just the next day, I just go and blast it away. So I'm glad today went much better, and you guys are going to see that soon. But for yesterday, and for when you lose, when you're losing, when you're being a loser, when your mentality's bad, when you're on tilt, walk away. Just walk away. It will, I promise, you will save money. And like I said again with the funded accounts, the best part is I haven't actually lost any money. I haven't, right? I lost a 150 for the 150K account, right? But I blew $3,000 on the funded account to do that. So like I paid $150 essentially to have that last experience of knowing I don't need to size up on the funded account, right? I don't need to use a high size funded account, right? I don't need to blow up on a day. I don't need to go full tilt. I don't need to do any of that. And it cost me only $150. And guys, that's super priceless because I know a lot of you are having exact days just like this and you're blowing real money, real hard earned money. And that sucks for everybody. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. And stay tuned because the next one's coming out. It's going to be a lot better. I'm going to show you some good trades I did. So cheers, guys. Have a good day.